So your writing style, you want to avoid overly stylized or flowery language. I think I covered that a bit before, but just to go a bit more in depth, it's the same thing with the vocabulary. You don't want it to be too complicated that people don't get what you're saying right off the bat. And the same thing going on, you want to use informal diction. First person is fine. You don't have to be he or she that wants to. You can say you, I, she. All those things are completely fine because you want it to make it easy to read and at a good level that people don't have to think too hard and that they really enjoy it and don't feel intimidated in any form by your writing. This is important. A lot of places that I sort of researched made this point, so I really wanted to make this point. You want to use numerals instead of words. Example 100, not 100. The reason for this is because numbers are natural points of emphasis. Therefore, when people are scanning your paper, if they see numbers, they will naturally sort of just stop and notice them. Their eyes sort of get stuck on the numbers more so than the words. There's several reasons for this. One is just because it's different from all the words around it, so it's just sort of you naturally notice something is different. Another reason for that is just going back to people are a bit more skeptical on the web, just in general. I mean, people in general are a bit skeptical. So when they see numbers, they associate it more with facts. Therefore, if you say 100, the people trust that more. People know that words can lie. They know things. But numbers are a bit more dependable. They believe them more. So when they see numbers, they want to know more about it. So that's why, as of course, you just want more variation. Variation in general is good, but people just like numbers. There may be some situations where it is not necessary to put down the number, and maybe it's not completely appropriate. But if you can, try to use the numerals instead of the words. Of course, if you're going to write something like 25 billion, you don't want to write 25 with how many zeros, because then people get confused. They may not understand that number. But then you would write 25 as a numeral and then billion as a word. Okay, facts. People read articles for facts. They won't want to be given a sales pitch. They want to learn the information about the story. Of course, numbers. People want to know the facts about these things. So you don't need to, if you're telling them, once again, the example of the HUC being torn down, you don't need to go ahead too much in depth about how great UAB is as a school. You know, you don't want to spend an entire paragraph just talking about the history of UAB too much. I mean, that is related if it's related back to the HUC, but just your history and personal, how great UAB is in general. You should come here. We've got all these programs. People are a little hesitant about that. They're like, why are you trying to sell me something? You know, why don't you just give me the information? I'd rather just hear about that. So you need to keep that in mind. You need to keep it facts heavy as much as possible.